tell me about your best buddy, Howard Stern. What is up with you and Howard are two peas in a pod?
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I've loved his show for years, and I love all the people there, and the camaraderie, and the fact that...
But taking a step back,
Yeah.
what does that show works since when he went first on the air? You're
Yeah.
probably roughly the same age. You probably remember in the early 80s when he
Yeah.
first went on air. He took radio by storm.
Totally.
There's still thousands of people on radio, but
Yeah.
nobody like Howard.
I
What
think-
is so special about Howard? What's the secret
I
formula?
think he really transformed comedy in a way, and it's really in this sort of really interesting way. He, it was shock, comedy at the time, but he started doing things that nobody was doing at the time, talking to strippers, doing really, sexual and crazy stuff, but everybody was kind of PC at the time. So he was really pushing the envelope, and he's getting fined by the FCC. But in that process, the real story about him is seeing behind, and when he gets upset with the people in his circle in that room, and how they start examining their lives, and they start revealing these really intimate stuff that you really don't want anyone to know, and now they're telling everyone. So he broke down this barrier of comedy, where then it got sort of more, it makes room for a Sacha Baron Cohen or like people like that, where you can really push the envelope and have some fun with it. I just loved his movie. So this is the Howard Stern story. I'd gone on a couple of times, and I went on this crazy time, one time. And then, so we had a relationship and a friendship, and this is kind of a sad story, but me and my ex had broken up. We were separated at the time, but she didn't want the public to know. So I was like, oh, but she said, I understand you're a man, so you can date other people. So I was like, oh, she's dating someone else, because she would never, knowing my ex, she was very jealous for years and years, and now she's not. I'm like, oh. So it was a really sad time. I waited 2 months before I slept with a girl. Sorry if this is like kind of all sexual.
You're talking to a New York. You're talking to a New York audience.
Perfect.
This is not Idaho.
So I finally met this girl, and she was a waitress at a club, and it just happened. And it was like, I got such a dramatic guy that I made it very dramatic. We took a stroll through a cemetery, just symbolically buried my marriage. Then we went, and I didn't want to go back to my house because I didn't know her, and I was just new to this whole dating world again, and I'm like nervous, and I hadn't been with another woman in 15 years, and I was like, so I called on my brother, who still lives in the house I grew up in. I was like, oh, can I come over to your house? He was like, sure, come on over. And I was like, is there like a room I could stay the night in? He was like, sure. It just happened to be the room I grew up in since I was 5 years old. So on top of all this, it's like now this really weird world that I'm sitting in this room, and it's not decorated like when I was a kid, but it felt like it. There was so many memories in there. So it happened, whatever. But then this girl, God bless her, she's, nice girl, but she or somebody, I think it was her, sold the story. First girl I was with, and sold the story, and then, so my publicist calls me up, and she's like, okay, Us Magazine people, okay, they all have you on the cover saying he's a cheater. And it was really like just my heart fell off. And I hadn't cheated on her in 15 years, and so I was like, no, I'm not a cheater. That's not me. So I called up Howard from a crazy night and told him the whole story. And what it did do was they couldn't write he's a cheater, so they wrote it's over. And for me, it was a little bit of a win, but not really. It just snowballed into craziness. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Good night. I know. I tend to, especially with Howard, be sort of like, wow, everything's out in the open. But I don't like secrets, and I don't like, I like, some of my favorite people are just sort of, they are who they are, and like, accept it or don't. I think that's like the appeal of a Trump that's going on. It's just literally who he is, and take it or leave it. There's something cool about that.
Who is the godmother of your daughter Coco?
It's Teresa Laurie, one of Christina's best friends. She lives here mainly.
I read someplace it was Jennifer Aniston.
Is Jennifer one of them? I don't know. Jennifer may be. She might have two, to be honest.
Okay.